Hello everyone, thank you very much for the time. In this opportunity, we would like to present about our research with the title Survey of Accredited Calibration Laboratories in Indonesia to ensure metrological traceability based on ISO IC 17025. Case study, gauge block calibration services. The research team consists of Muhammad Haekal Habibie, Ocka Hedrony, and Pratiwi. We are from BSN, the National Standardization Agency of Indonesia. The national quality infrastructure is the institutional framework that establishes and implements standardization, including conformity assessment services, metrology and accreditation. In Indonesia, SNSU-BSN has functioned as National Metrology Institute, or NMI, for physical and chemical quantities, while PT KMR Batam has functioned as Designation Institute, or DI, for radiation quantities. Meanwhile, DSN has functioned as the national standardization body and the national accreditation body in Indonesia. In the concept of implementing national quality infrastructure in Indonesia, accredited calibration laboratories play a strategic role in facilitating trade activities. For the examples, in the health sector, blood pressure gauge used to measure blood pressure need to be calibrated to find out the deviation value of devices. It would be very risky if the actual display value of blood pressure gauge is wrong, because it will cause misdiagnosis of the patient and effect on the error of the dosage and medication. The another case, the flow meter at the gas station also needs to be calibrated. This is to ensure that the value of the amount shown in the indicator at the gas station is in accordance with the value of the amount of fuel that goes to the tank of vehicles. In implementation of ISO IC 17025 standard for accredited calibration laboratories, one of the important factors is metrological traceability. Metrological traceability is inherent entity which determines the validity of calibration results. At the top of the pyramid is the National Metrology Institute, which has a primary or national standard, which is the realization of SI. At the second and third levels are calibration laboratories that have standards that are traceable to the NMI by calibration. While at the lowest level of pyramid, there is measuring instrument used for measuring activities, such as ruler to measure length or thermometer to measure temperature. Our question in this research is how is the measurement traceability of accredited calibration laboratories in Indonesia? In the calibration activity, metrological traceability is the most fundamental and indispensable element. According to clause 6.5 of ISO IC 17025 standard, one of the metrological traceability is obtained from calibration activities against standard or measuring instruments with competent calibration laboratory. Limitation of this research is selected the accredited calibration laboratories that have gauge block calibration services. In this research, we were using questionnaire to get the data from respondents about the metrological traceability of the accredited calibration laboratory. The questions on questionnaire consist of ownership of the gauge block standard, size and type of gauge block, their calibration customers and schedule of calibration activity of the gauge block. Respondents in this research came from calibration laboratories that have gauge block services and have been accredited by CAN, the National Accreditation Committee in Indonesia. Respondents' data such as company name, company address, contact person, and email address were obtained from the CAN website. The questionnaire was sent to respondents via email by providing Google Form link that to be filled out. From the survey result, we have obtained data from 49 respondents who fill out the questionnaire. This is the result, research result number 1. There are 96% respondents had gauge block standard, while 4% respondents did not have gauge block standard. The gauge block standard is needed as main equipment for respondents to perform services to the customer. Based on its type, gauge block consists of 2 types that are divided based on the measuring of range. The first type is the short gauge block, and the second type is long gauge block. From the survey result, there are 35% respondents have gauge block with the type of short, and then 18% respondents have gauge blocks with the type of long, and then 47% respondents have both types of gauge block. The gauge block standard owned by respondents needs to be calibrated periodically. According to clause 6.4 of ISO IC 17025 standard, it states that the laboratory shall establish calibration program, which shall be reviewed and adjusted as necessary in order to maintain confidence in the status of calibration. The research team asked the respondent whether the gauge block standard of the respondent was calibrated before its due date. The survey result regarding this question is 55% respondents carried out calibration of the gauge block by taking into account the calibration due date. This means that the respondent believes that the calibration period of the gauge block standard has never exceeded the due date. In addition, 45% respondents have carried out calibration activities when the calibration due date had passed. According with this research activity, we asked to the respondent about the destination calibration laboratory, which was calibrate their gauge block standard. This is the result. There are 43% respondents calibrate their gauge block standard through the SNSU-BSN, and then 43% respondents conduct calibration their gauge block standard to private calibration laboratory, and as many as 14% respondents carried out calibration activities to another government calibration laboratory. From the survey result of the calibration destination laboratory, the majority of respondents conducted calibration activities of their gauge block standard to SNSU-BSN and to private calibration laboratory. This is the conclusions of our research. Majority of respondents were calibrating their gauge block standard to SNSU-BSN or to private calibration laboratory with the same percentage. SNSU-BSN as National Metrology Institute or NMI in Indonesia has performed its role as calibration service provider to oversee national-scale metrological traceability. In the concept of metrological traceability, calibration laboratories that conducting calibration activities were referring to SNSU-BSN, SNMI to obtain metrological traceability chain. In addition, the role of private calibration laboratory is also very necessary to serve the demand for calibration orders, which are always increasing every year. Thank you very much for the attention.